Coconuts and coincidences. The heat in Bangkok clung to everything like a warm hug you couldn't escape. Not that Sam Delaney was trying. No, she needed this change of scenery, even if it meant sweat, jet lag, and a backpack heavier than her emotional baggage. After a chaotic breakup and a desk job that felt like a hostage situation, Sam booked a last-minute solo trip to Thailand. One click on a travel blog titled, "Finding Yourself in Chiang Mai," and she was sold. Her plan? No plans. Just wander, heal, eat, and maybe post a few aesthetic reels on her neglected travel Instagram. What she didn't plan on? Him. It happened on her second day in Chiang Mai. Sam was sitting at a small street food stall, devouring a spicy papaya salad that made her eyes water and her nose run. She was mid-sniffle when a coconut dropped, thud, onto her table, followed by an awkward apology. She looked up into the most annoyingly charming face she'd ever seen. Messy dark curls, one dimple, sleeveless tee revealing tan arms. He looked like trouble, the kind that eats mango sticky rice at midnight and calls you dude, ironically. "You dropped your coconut," she deadpanned, fork frozen halfway to her mouth. He grinned, cradling 3 green coconuts like oddly shaped bowling balls. "Dropping my wallet would have been too weird." She blinked. "Huh?" He nodded toward the fruit. "Only thing I had on me that I could throw without risking identity theft. It got your attention, didn't it?" Then, with the kind of confidence only a tourist in cargo shorts could pull off, he stuck out a hand. "Ethan Miller, nice to meet you." Sam stared, first at the hand, then at the coconuts, then back at his face, which, annoyingly, was as smug as it was cute. She sighed, put down her fork, and shook his hand. "Sam Delaney. And for the record, coconut ambushes aren't a great pickup move." "Noted," he said. "Next time I'll try a durian. More dramatic." She gave him a look. "You do that, and I'm calling immigration." He chuckled and turned to the coconut vendor nearby. "Panook, mind cutting 2 of these open?" The vendor raised an eyebrow but nodded, grabbing a machete with casual ease. Ethan turned back to Sam. "You drink coconut water, or do you have something against people who walk around with a bunch of them?" Sam smirked. "Depends. Are you planning to juggle them too?" "Only if you clap." The vendor returned with 2 freshly sliced coconuts, straws sticking out like silly party favors. Ethan slid one across the table and took the pink stool next to her without asking. "To chaotic introductions," he said, raising his coconut. Sam hesitated, then clinked her coconut gently against his. "To weirdos who throw fruit." Over the next few days, fate, and a few suspicious coincidences, kept throwing Sam and Ethan together. A tuk-tuk driver accidentally dropped him off at the same night market. A sunrise yoga class turned out to be a partner session. Guess who her partner was? And when Sam booked a spontaneous Thai cooking class in Pai? Yep, Ethan. "So, are you stalking me?" she asked as they folded spring rolls side by side. "Nope," he said, biting into a messy roll. "Just a fellow lost soul with a craving for chili and chaos." By day 4, she learned he was a travel videographer. No big career, no 5-year plan, just vibes and GoPro footage. He was everything Sam wasn't. Free-spirited, unbothered, and yet something about him felt oddly steady. "Why are you really here?" she asked as they strolled through a lantern-lit alley after a night market. "Long story," he replied, kicking a pebble. "But let's just say I had to reset." Sam smiled softly. "Me too." Because no rom-com is complete without a questionable decision, Sam agreed to rent a scooter with Ethan. "It's easy," he promised. "You just hold on and enjoy the ride." They zipped through mountain roads like 2 rebels with coconut helmets. They got lost. They ran out of gas. They argued about Google Maps. And then it rained. Monsoon style. By the time they made it to a hilltop viewpoint, they were soaked, shivering, and laughing so hard Sam thought she might actually cry. "You're completely insane," she said, wiping rain from his cheek. "You love it," he replied. And weirdly, she kind of did. It was the night of Loy Krathong, the Thai festival of lights. The river was a mirror of floating candles, each one a wish whispered into the night. Sam and Ethan stood side by side, each holding a krathong made of banana leaves and flowers. "Make a wish," he said. "I already did," she whispered. Their fingers brushed. The moment hung in the air, electric and unspoken. Then Ethan leaned in. Just enough. And Sam met him halfway. The kiss was soft, unsure, full of heat and possibility. The kind of kiss that felt like it might turn into something bigger, or vanish with the breeze. The next morning, everything felt off. Sam woke up in her hostel bed, alone. Ethan had mentioned a work trip to Koh Lipe at some point, but he hadn't said goodbye. No note, no text, just gone. Classic, she thought bitterly. Of course the cute, unpredictable traveler would ghost her like a Tinder date with commitment issues. She packed her bag with more force than necessary. Back to Bangkok it was. No more lanterns. No more wandering hearts. Airports had always made Sam feel small. The polished floors, the constant announcements in 3 languages, the hurried travelers dragging their lives behind them. It was all so final. She rolled her suitcase to the check-in counter, the weight of goodbye heavier than the bag itself. Ethan was gone. That much she had accepted. Or at least, she was trying to. The agent smiled politely, handed her passport back, and gestured for her to move along. Sam adjusted her grip on her carry-on and stepped aside, forcing herself to keep moving. Forward. Away. That's when something bumped against her sandal. She looked down. A coconut, green, smooth, absurdly out of place among the gleaming tiles, had rolled to a gentle stop at her feet. Sam blinked. Her pulse stuttered. Slowly, like she was afraid it might vanish if she moved too quickly, she turned her head. And there he was. Ethan, standing by a luggage trolley piled with 3 coconuts in his arms, and another threatening to tumble loose. His curls were mussed, his t-shirt slightly wrinkled, but his grin was as infuriating and dazzling as ever. "I swear I wasn't aiming this time," he called, holding up the offending coconut with mock innocence. Sam's mouth fell open. She could feel people staring, the woman behind her in line, a family corralling toddlers, even the check-in agent craning to watch. But the whole airport blurred. It was just him. "You," she started, but her voice caught. "What are you even doing here?" Ethan stepped closer, juggling the coconuts like they were excuses. "Last-minute shoot wrapped up early. I thought maybe I could catch you before you left. Turns out..." He dropped one onto the trolley with a thunk. "Bangkok security isn't a fan of this much tropical produce." Sam tried not to laugh, failed. "You're ridiculous." "I know." His voice softened, all the teasing stripped away. "But I couldn't let you leave thinking I'd just disappear." Her throat tightened. She wanted to be angry, to remind him of the days she spent convincing herself she was fine without him. But standing there, with a coconut at her feet, and him looking at her like she was his whole horizon, anger didn't stand a chance. He set the last coconut down carefully, then stepped into her space. "Sam, I don't know where I'm going next. I don't know how to promise you stability or plans or even a fixed address. But I know this. Everything feels brighter, sharper, better with you in it. I don't want the story to end here. Not if you don't." Sam's chest ached, full to bursting. The airport noise faded until all she could hear was her own heartbeat. Slowly, she bent down, scooped up the runaway coconut, and pressed it into his hands. "Fine," she said, her lips curling into a smile she couldn't fight anymore. "But if you're keeping me around, you're carrying all the luggage next time." Ethan whooped, drawing stares, then scooped her up in his arms, spinning her once before setting her gently back down. "Careful," Sam warned, laughing. "If you drop me, I'm going back to immigration." He grinned, brushing a damp curl from her cheek. "Not a chance." And with that, they turned away from departures. Just outside, where the whole of Thailand sprawled wide and waiting, Sam realized something. She hadn't come here to fall in love. She came to lose herself, to start over, to be alone. But maybe, just maybe, love was the part of the adventure she hadn't known she was brave enough to want. 6 months later, Sam returned to Thailand, not to escape, but to begin again. She had a new job writing for a travel magazine, a smaller suitcase, and a much bigger heart. Waiting at the airport, holding 2 iced Thai teas? Ethan. Still annoying. Still perfect. As they hopped onto a tuk-tuk, laughing at nothing and everything, Sam looked at him and thought, maybe you don't find yourself in Thailand. Maybe you just find someone who helps you remember who you were all along.